Get ready to uncover the truth behind the notorious drug lord El Chapo. This infamous prisoner's days of escape and luxury are long gone. Find out why the infamous El Chapo will never escape the Supermax prison known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. In this video, we will delve into the harsh realities of the world's most secure prison and why El Chapo's final destination may just be his lifelong sentence. So stay tuned. El Chapo was able to escape from one of Mexico's most secure prisons, Altiplano, in July of 2015 by riding a motorcycle through an ingenious tunnel that led to a construction site more than a mile away. El Chapo was caught 4 years later, and he was subsequently convicted of 10 distinct charges, some of which included operating in a continuing criminal enterprise, drug trafficking, and possessing a firearm. He was given a term of life in prison plus an additional 30 years, in addition to a fine of $12.6 billion. El Chapo, whose name literally translates to Shorty in English, broke out of the maximum security Altiplano prison in Mexico in July of 2015 by using a tunnel that was 1 mile long and equipped with ventilation, as well as a motorbike that was conveniently situated. First, it is believed that Guzman escaped by crawling through a hole measuring 2 feet by 2 feet that was located beneath the shower in his cell in the safest portion of the prison. The entrance in the shower led to a complicated passageway that was 1 mile long. The tunnel contains lighting, ventilation, and a motorcycle on tracks, which was probably used to transport digging material and cart dirt out. In close proximity to the metropolitan area of Toluca in Mexico, the tunnel led to a construction site that included a rudimentary compound in the adjacent Santa Juanita neighborhood. A hole in the ground served as a passageway for a ladder that led to the hub of the construction site. Images captured by satellites show that work on the facility began sometime after February 2015 and continued into the present. Officials in Mexico have begun a large manhunt, during which they have closed down an airport and detained 30 members of the prison staff, including the head of the facility, for questioning. Guzman's second jailbreak was considered to be one of the most embarrassing times for the Mexican government after they had just succeeded in recapturing the drug kingpin who had evaded authorities for more than 1 decade. In 2001, El Chapo escaped from the same prison by utilizing a laundry cart that was pulled through various doors and then out the front entrance by maintenance worker Javier Camberos. This was done by El Chapo. People often say that Supermax prisons are worse than hell because of how isolated and deprived the inmates are. In a Supermax prison, inmates are locked in their cells for 22 to 24 hours a day and don't talk to other people very much. Lack of stimulation, fresh air, and exercise can cause serious problems with your mental and physical health. Also, the cells are often dark and dirty and have limited access to natural light, good ventilation, and clean facilities. Having no privacy and being watched all the time can also be very upsetting for inmates, who are often both deprived of senses and overloaded with them at the same time. Also, Supermax prisons often use too much force, like pepper spray, tasers, and restraints. And putting people in solitary confinement as a form of punishment has been called cruel and inhumane by many people. Overall, the conditions in a Supermax prison can cause a lot of pain that can last for a long time after a person gets out. People think that the isolation and lack of resources that people in these facilities have to deal with every day are worse than what people go through in hell. ADX Florence is the highest security Supermax prison in the US, and it is located in the shadow of the Rocky Mountains, just off of Colorado's Highway 67. In 1994, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, which owns and operates the facility, established a control unit for male inmates who were considered to be exceptionally violent or likely to escape from other facilities. These inmates were transferred to the control unit from other facilities. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, the suspect in the Boston Marathon bombing, Theodore Kaczynski, better known as the Unabomber, double agents like Harold Nicholson, a CIA spy secretly working for the Soviets, mafiosos Joseph Lombardo and James Marcello, Ramsey Youssef, the suspect in the planning of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, and Zacarias Moussaoui, the suspect in the 9/11. It is possible that the boss of the Sinaloa cartel, Joaquin El Chapo Guzmán, will join their ranks now. A judge handed down Guzmán's sentence on Wednesday, which included life in jail and an additional 30 years for money laundering and drug trafficking. The authorities have not yet placed Guzmán in a correctional facilities. However, because of the fact that he has a history of evading capture, most famously by tunneling his way out of a maximum security jail in Mexico, specialists believe that he will eventually land up at ADX Florence. But what makes ADX Florence stand out from the other correctional facilities in a country that has 1,719 state prisons, 102 federal prisons, and countless additional municipal, military, and immigrant detention facilities? It all depends on how it was planned out. Martin Horn, a professor of criminal justice, told Reuters that ADX Florence is literally built into the side of a mountain with a robust security infrastructure. While Alcatraz may have been encircled on all sides by the icy waters of the San Francisco Bay, ADX Florence is literally built into the side of a mountain. The compound is surrounded by 12 gun towers. The perimeter is kept safe by a combination of razor wire, guard dogs, and laser beams. Inside the buildings, one continues to feel a sense of seclusion as well as control. Everyone working at the facility, including guards, convicts, and other staff members, is subject to constant observation. Every structure has motion sensors installed, and some floors even have pressure sensors to monitor footfall and determine where people are walking. Movement within the structure is controlled by 1,400 doors that are operated via remote control. Every convict is given their own cell, which measures 7 feet by 12 feet, is where they will spend almost 23 hours of their day alone. The cells, as well as everything that can be found inside of them, such as the sink, toilet, shower, desk, and bed, are all fashioned out of concrete. It is said to be soundproof. Hence, inmates in the same block are unable to chat to one another or tap out codes in order to communicate with one another. Meals can be delivered with as little or as much interaction between the inmates and the guards as possible. In addition, psychoanalytic assessments, spiritual direction, and a variety of additional treatments are made available to the clients either in person or through telehealth consultations. According to the findings of a study written by Amnesty International in 2014 on the facility, prisoners often go days with only a few words addressed to them. Entombed, Isolation in the U.S. Prison System was the title of this report. The layout of the windows is one of the elements that appears to continue to trouble ex-inmates of ADX Florence. It is said that there is a window measuring 4 inches broad in each cell. The inhabitants of the facility are unable to determine their precise location within the complex as a result of the angled slit that has been made through the thick walls. Travis Dusenberry, who spent 10 years in the prison's general population, described his experience there to the Marshall Project, a non-profit criminal justice media. "You can't see anything," he said. "Not a freeway out in the distance, not the sky. You are aware that the moment you get at that location, you will not see any of that for many years to come." Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any suggestions or questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. See you in the next one.